Hello, thank you for joining us with ACMC's Wellness Kitchen. Today, I've brought my ACMC family with me today. These are my business development folks. We're excited to be here and bring you some quick and easy, healthy recipes. Tina,
this is unusual, Allison, because normally I'm on that side of the camera.
you are, John.
So-
You are.
And I'm usually never on camera. That's my preference.
She's back at the office working hard while we're over here doing this. So this is unusual for 2/3 of us.
Right, right. So this is not the first time you've seen me, but I'm Allison. I'm ACMC's Referral and Community Outreach Coordinator in the Business Development Department. And like I said, this is my family. So Tina, introduce yourself.
I'm Tina Staszewski. I'm the Vice President of Business Development for ACMC.
And I'm John Broom. I'm the Public Relations Coordinator for ACMC.
And like John said, usually he is on the other side waving us down, telling us what we need to do. So we're going to kind of wing it today and hope we can give you a great show and some fun while we're doing it. We're going to go ahead and start with our side first, and then we're going to do our main, and then we have a little salad. All of it's really healthy. I think we did a really good job with it.
I think we did. Mine's got a little bit of sweetness to it, but everything in moderation is okay.
And honestly, that pairs up with a lot of this because everything else is really pretty healthy and it's going to go right along. So John, why don't you tell us what you're making?
Well, the whole theme, I think, of this is just simplicity of things, because we come in from a busy day at work and maybe we didn't plan something, or we got stuck at work and we're behind, or for whatever reason we got stuck at a store or something and in line, and we just rush in, we're frustrated. We don't have time to do that fancy kind of, well, we're going to add 17 ingredients and cook it all up and make it taste great. So we just want something simple. So this side dish is a really simple, it's technically just 3 ingredients. You can add more, or 4. You can add more to it if you want to. But it's a quinoa black bean salsa. And it all mixes together. And so we have just some white quinoa that is, I've already rinsed it. You're supposed to put it in a skillet and toast it a little bit. That gets that nutty flavor that comes out of that. So that's been pre-done, and then we have 2 cups of chicken stock. I very rarely cook with just water. I like cooking with the chicken stock. This is probably going to sizzle once I pour it in because this is a little warm. We preheated that. So that needs to boil for just a couple of minutes, or come almost to a boil before we add the quinoa. And then we have black beans, and we have a pineapple salsa, mild pineapple salsa.
Sounds very good.
I was amazed when I first tried this. Allison actually suggested it, and I know that she loves cooking out of her garden. So to have these quick ingredients like this, I could see her making all of this at home, the salsa and everything, and then blending it. But I tried it, and the first time I was like, I really don't want to add anything to this. This is good. I do usually throw in extra spices and things that I like, just to give it different flavor. But for something quick, you can do this in probably about 20-25 minutes.
And just like everything else that we've said when we do the Wellness Kitchen, make it to your taste, change things up, add what you like, eliminate some things. I like cooking with stock too, but I probably would have done 1 cup water, 1 cup chicken, just because that's the way I prefer it. So mix things up, make it the way you want it and the way your taste is. But with that salsa, they've got a lot of flavor and everything in it, so you really don't need to add. Right. I am running low on my salsa from my garden. I think I have 2 jars left. So garden season, hurry up, I need to get there. So we're going to wait till that boils, and I'm going to actually...
I'm going to go ahead and add this while you guys talk.
Sure. I'm going to start with my dish. It is actually very, very simple. And believe it or not, I found this on TikTok. So, and I don't normally try things, but I love salmon, and I've never been able to really cook salmon the way I like it at home. I'll go out and order salmon because it just tastes better when somebody else cooks it, right?
Everything does.
Everything does, yeah, absolutely. So I tried this, and we went out, my girlfriend and I went out shopping. We thought, let's give it a go. Best salmon I've ever had, and I repeatedly have made this. It's as simple as this. You find a honey Dijon. This one has a little bit of extra flavoring in it. You can just buy a regular Dijon mustard, and then you put it on and you smear it. And we have an air fryer, and we're going to put this in the air fryer. For those of you who do not have an air fryer, just put it in your oven and bake it until, the consistency of the salmon that you like. I normally like mine medium. How do you like your salmon?
Medium's good.
Yeah, that's how I... And Tina?
I like somebody else to eat my salmon. Thank you.
So
I knew.
Do you like? Is there any fish that you could eat that if your doctor said you have to eat more fish, you
I'd probably starve.
Oh. Because some people, I could eat fish sticks. That's not healthy.
If there's
option,
enough
but,
ketchup.
Yeah.
But yeah, the breading kind of gets rid of the benefit of the fish. But
Yeah.
I suppose if my doctor told me I absolutely had to, I would figure out a way to do it, and maybe putting a whole bunch of the Dijon on there would make it okay for me.
Is it the fishy taste or the texture that you?
It depends on what it is. Like, I've tried everything. It's not that I just have decided I don't like it. I've never tried salmon, but I'm not going to try salmon. Not even today for Allison. We already pre-discussed that one.
We did.
But I've tried lobster. I've tried crab. I've tried clams. I've tried shrimp, and it just, some of it's the texture, some of it is
So it's fish or seafood.
Yes.
Yeah, she definitely is. And so when we were deciding what we were going to do, I know Tina does not care for salmon, and I know she does not care for Brussels sprouts. John and I absolutely love salmon, and we love Brussels sprouts. So we thought, well, 1 out of 2 is not so bad. Not so bad. Last night we did we had an ACMC dinner. We've been going to different locations and getting some good health information out. We did an ACMC dinner last night at Austinburg Nursing. We had about 40 people there. We packed the room. We had some people on the waiting list. That's how well these have gone over with the community. And they had it catered, and they had a wonderful white fish last night.
I tried the chicken.
Did you try the fish? I heard that the fish was great because Ben Miola from cardiology came out and he was talking about eating healthy and your proteins and carbs and things like that. And so we did a healthy carb Mediterranean meal. Everybody really liked it. It was fantastic. So if you're interested in coming to any of our ACMC dinners, please go to our Facebook. You can see what's coming up next. Our next one is in March. I believe it's the 23rd, Thursday the 23rd, and that's Navigating Mental Health and Addiction Recovery. We hit on all of those topics. We have a little bit of one of our primary care, Dr. Facalati, is coming out talking about why it's important to have a primary care physician, all of that great stuff. So come out and get some good information. We have a free dinner. We just want you to come out and listen to hear what they have to say. So with that being said, I'm going to get this delicious salmon.
Okay.
I'm going to put it in the air fryer. I'm actually going to put it at 400 degrees for 15 minutes. I don't flip it. I don't add anything else. This is what we have. And 15 minutes in an air fryer, and this is absolutely the best salmon I had. So I'm going to let you guys go ahead and get started on what you need to do next, and I'm going to get this in the air fryer and get cooking.
Is yours ready to move to the next step?
It is not. It is still getting. It has to cook for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
So.
Well, if you would hand me the grapes then.
Certainly.
So mine is a grape salad, and it has red, green, and black seedless grapes. I want to say that I created this recipe myself. I'm pretty sure that I would have seen it somewhere. But I had surgery many, many, many years ago, and I was going to a Christmas luncheon and needed something that I could bring. And I had forgotten about the Christmas luncheon until the night before. And I went to the grocery store, and I was looking around, and I went, I like grapes. I like almonds and cream cheese fruit dip. How can you go wrong? And you just really throw it all together. So it's kind of hard now to find just the almond slices, but you can find prepackaged almond slices and dried cranberries. It goes very well together. And I wasn't sure that I would like the cranberries with it, but it turns out really well. This is just a prepackaged cream cheese fruit dip. Or if you're adventurous, you can make your own with reduced fat cream cheese, vanilla extract, and some brown sugar, which you could use the Truvia brown sugar to make it a little bit more healthy.
Sure.
And literally, you just plop everything in there and start mixing it up.
So we learned last night with Ben Miola from cardiology, everything's in moderation.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're doing a very healthy meal like this just gives you that little bit of extra something that, you can have.
And when you look at, the package of the cream cheese fruit dip, it has a lot in it. But when you're just taking a small serving of it, because it's a side dish for you, that's where that moderation, I think, also comes in. It doesn't make it quite as bad for you as maybe some other things would be.
Absolutely. I love grapes, so this to me is fantastic. What an easy dish to take somewhere.
I have taken it to so many picnics, whether it be 4th of July, or we had a rather large picnic at our house last year for our team and my husband's team, because he also works at the hospital. And I have to say, proudly, this was one of the favorites. And several people came up and said, how do I make this? How do I make this? And when I said there's really no talent that goes into it whatsoever, you go to the store, you buy everything, you put it in a bowl and mix it up.
Yeah.
And then it's ready.
And it looks delicious.
So this is what it ends up looking like. And yes, it's one of my favorites.
You know, I do with my kids when they were little, I used to do, I wish it was summer dinner in the middle of winter. I would find frozen corn because we couldn't get corn on the cob. I would find frozen corn. I would do hamburgers and hot dogs. And this is that's fun to have in the middle of winter when you're kind of craving something sweet, like a summertime dish. It just reminds you of that.
It does.
It looks, I can't wait to try that. I'm so excited to try it. So,
Mine's still percolating over here.
Okay.
So it takes about 15 minutes. Yours takes about 12. We have plenty of time to talk.
All right.
See,
all right.
Normally you can have a little beverage. We could just sit and talk for a while stuff cooks, right? I mean, that's
Absolutely, kind of what you do at home.
Yes.
So let's get into the details. How long have you been with ACMC?
I have been here for 18 and a half years.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Moved to Ashtabula County when I started working. I'm originally from Erie, but this is my home now, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And how about you, John? How long?
12 and a half years with ACMC, and moved up here 22 years ago with one of the local papers. So we very familiar with all of Ashtabula County, and live in Jefferson, so that's kind of centrally located everything. So very happy to be there and be here and all this. So.
Well, I guess then I'm the new addition to the family because I've been here just over 7 years now. I think January has been 7 years. And I do most of the community events. I reach out to the community in many aspects. I go to table events where you can see me if you come in through the business expos, going out and giving information about the docs that we have, the new physicians that are coming in, how we can service you the best way we can. I love to share that information and get it out to everybody. And I love to eat this. That sounds fantastic.
So I often have a lot of family members that say, what exactly is business development? Some people understand it better when you say marketing communications, but there's more to it than just that. So here's how I describe what we do. Everybody's heard the phrase that knowledge is power. And it's our job to provide you with the knowledge to make a powerful decision about where you're going to receive your health care.
Absolutely.
And an educated patient is a great patient. And you have to choose the provider and the location that is best for you. We believe that's ACMC, obviously, or we wouldn't work for the organization. But it really is about us getting that information to you so that when you're faced with a decision, you feel comfortable making it and you feel comfortable having ACMC be that provider of choice.
Absolutely.
And how many times have we heard from a patient or even a caregiver that works there that they were going to one physician and it just wasn't meshing? Mm-hmm. And then either because of something they had seen on social media or one of the ads or news articles, like, I want to try that person. Mm-hmm. And they went and it was a perfect fit, and suddenly their health now is much better.
Yes.
Because it's like there's that communication. Everybody understands each other.
Yes, I agree.
And they feel like it's a comfortable, again, kind of like a family. So their family member helping them learn more about their own health. That's what I like about Ben, is he can talk to you, but he doesn't, for lack of a better word, he's very enthusiastic, but he's not dogmatic about it. He helps you kind of find your way through that. But he's like, here's your framework. Now you work within that framework.
Yeah.
And one of the best things about the events that you do, especially the dinners, is it allows people to meet that provider or that clinical person face to face and put a name with a face, really get to see their personality, understand who they are as a person first, and then as a provider and what their areas of expertise and their skills are. And I know I worked at a previous hospital back home in Erie, and that was one of the things we didn't get a chance to do very much because it was a little bit bigger. The hospital was a little bit bigger. This is a community that loves that face-to-face interaction and being able to say, hey, I had dinner with last night. So that's one of the reasons that I really like the dinners that we have.
Absolutely. You know, and I have people come up to me and say, well, the doc I'm with isn't really working out for me. This is what I'm looking for: a female. I'm looking for somebody a little bit older than me. I'm looking for, whatever it is. And then we have a sheet, and I can say, these would be the physicians that meet that criteria for you. Go onto our Facebook or go onto our website. Go onto our website, look them up. You'll see a picture. You'll see all the information. Our website is fantastic. When you go in and you look at the providers, it gives you all the information that you need there to help you make a choice. If you can't get to one of us for some reason, which I can't imagine that you couldn't, because we're all over the place, right? We are everywhere. So and one of the county commissioners said to me just the other day when we were at a chamber event, he goes, "You guys are everywhere." I said, "Absolutely. We want to get the best care to everybody in the community," and there we are. Looks like you're ready, John.
No.
Okay.
Looks can be deceiving, apparently.
Yeah, no, actually, I can jump ahead in the process because this has about another. I'm timing it off of yours. It's got about another 7 minutes left, so I don't want to take that much time with it. So I actually, brought some in advance. The miracles of modern television, and everything. So I cooked this in advance, and what you're looking for with quinoa, that this is one of those things, especially like Ben talked about last night. It's high in protein. So you replace this, instead of rice, we use quinoa, or there's various kinds. This is organic white because that's what was available at the store, but it comes in those little pellets like we saw earlier, and then once it cooks, you get these little curlicues as the germ separates from that, and that's when you know that it's cooked. It takes about 12 to 15 minutes. In the stock, I did add a little butter to this. You can add butter or not.
Don't tell our cardiology department.
Yeah. I did sample it without the butter, and it was good because it has that nutty flavor when you toast it. For people that haven't tried it, it's almost like a combination of rice and popcorn flavor, without that starchy taste that the rice gets.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sure. It's more nutty, and when you put butter in it, it does taste a little bit more like popcorn. It's good for that. And this is a full cup. We actually probably could take some out, but I'm just going to see what happens with a full cup, because we take these are canned black beans. I use no salt or low sodium in just about everything I can. Okay. So the stock was low sodium or no sodium. This is low sodium, and that way you can add the salt back in if you want to. Right.
If
and
you're
so
if you're for a lot of people,
right. So if your physician or provider has said, do not eat salt, get as low as you can, and then for other people you can just add it back in to taste. Because I don't like a lot of salt, and that's one thing about eating out at restaurants a lot of times.
Yes.
A Facebook friend of mine was complaining that they travel a lot and they couldn't find something on the menu, so they got the roasted, cauliflower, thinking that's good, that's healthy, that's what I want. Well, they just doused it in butter before they roasted it, so it was just soggy.
Yeah.
The whole bowl had all this butter or oil. She wasn't sure it was real butter either, so she didn't know what it was. But they just poured so much salt and different seasonings on it that it wasn't tasty.
Yeah.
And it certainly wasn't healthy. So
that's why I love to cook at home, because I can control. I eat at home most of the time. And I've heard people say, "Oh, quinoa just tastes like bland rice. I don't care for quinoa." Honestly, it's much healthier for you than the white rice, and you dress it up.
Well, that's where the toasting comes in.
Absolutely.
You wash it first to get there's a powder that's on it that comes through the processing of it, and so that comes off, so that changes the flavor, and then when you toast it, it really brings forth this nutty flavor that's great.
Yeah. So I noticed that you didn't drain the beans. You don't have to drain the beans.
No, you can if you want to.
Okay.
You don't have to. It sometimes now I have had it makes it a little bit too gummy sometimes, but it adds flavor too.
Okay.
So, and this is the part that I never know how much salsa to add, because once you get all the beans and the quinoa and everything, you may need more and you may need less, and that might be something that you let people do to taste. Mm-hmm. You can have the beans and quinoa mixed together and then let everybody else put their salsa on that they want. Because this is a pineapple salsa, it's a little sweeter, but it plays really well off the black bean, and it's extremely healthy, especially if you make your own salsa, because then you control the sugar level.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I always think it needs a little bit more than that. But
I'm the same. And I don't drain my beans when I make it either, but I don't pour the last little bit of it that's in the side of the can because it is a little thick for me. So I'll dump the juice and the beans and I leave the sediment at the bottom of the can and not put it in. I just don't. Again, it's your preference. It's what you like, and I just say make it until you like it. Try it.
can everybody have paprika? Because some people can't eat paprika.
I can
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so.
Paprika is so good for you. It is so good for you.
This is where I've really changed as a home cook. Is with the spices because they each bring some extra flavor, but they do have health benefits to them. And it's what's the big thing that everybody's about? Ginger and turmeric.
Yes.
And I learned years ago that if you're cooking carrots and you mix a little bit of turmeric in with it, that it really boosts that carrot flavor. So, and there's health benefits to it as well. And you can just get your spices locally in whatever store you want to get them in. I'm on a big garlic and red pepper kick right now. So I didn't put that in there because we got to go back to work. But normally I would add some garlic and red pepper to it.
Yeah.
And it's not hot.
Okay.
It's just the pepper. Instead of black pepper, it's red pepper.
Okay.
And that gives it a little bit of a boost, especially with the garlic. Maybe some dillweed or whatever favorite spices are. You can make an Italian style with all the Italian herbs.
Okay.
You can use fresh herbs, dried herbs. It does, in the little cans or whatever.
I like that everything we're doing is easy and relatively fast. The worst part about it for the grape salad is the time it takes to pull the grapes off the vine and making sure that the little stems aren't still stuck in there. And then you just rinse them. I like to let them sit for an hour if I can to make sure that all of that water has drained out of the colander. They're a little bit wetter than I would usually do for today just based on the time that we had. But easy is definitely the way to go.
Yeah.
I'm amazed how quick this came together. And like I said, we spent some time talking and everything, but I mean that looks outstanding. I knew that it would look good, but that looks. I mean, heck, I'd pay $12.95 for that in a restaurant.
And you know what I'm telling you, it tastes so much better than it looks. Really, to be honest with you.
Well, and I'm not good about planning ahead. Now that was that fresh salmon?
It was frozen.
That was frozen,
I
but
normally
you let it thaw.
I did. I normally do.
See, I don't
fresh.
plan ahead like that, and so I'll pop fresh salmon in the microwave for the little squares for about 3 minutes, and it cooks it. But it's more done than medium.
Yeah.
Because you want that.
I don't know why I never thaw my salmon in the microwave. Because I'm afraid that the edges get cooked. I put it in a bowl of warm water lukewarm water for a little bit. Just my preference.
I'm that way with any meat that needs to be thawed out. I don't do it in the microwave either.
Yeah.
I think even if you put it on the defrost setting, it just seems to me like it starts cooking it and makes it a little bit tougher. Any meat that we've ever done.
Yeah.
So
I just wanted to show you.
I'll take that out of your way.
This is dinner for this evening. And I'm going to tell you, this is probably more than I can eat because by the time you eat that salmon and eat that quinoa, you're full. And I'm definitely going to, I'm definitely going to eat the grape salad all the way through. So
Well, before we leave, Tina didn't get to talk about what everything she does at
Oh, we're not ready to leave.
We're not.
We still have talking.
See, when I'm on that side of the camera, when they say, "Here's our plate," I know I'm wrapping up. I'm like, "All right, here we go."
Well,
no, you've got it all planned out. So I should just trust you. Go ahead.
But the thing of it is, this is so easy, and that's what we aim for, something easy. So guess what? This gives more time for the family to sit around the table and talk, right?
It does.
So that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
So
what do you want to talk about?
See, we should have a table. We can just walk over to it, sit down.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is actually done, by the way. So it got finished while we were talking. So and that came out exactly like that. That was pre-made. So take it off and eat.
And it's simple. So what are we pulling out of Tina?
It's Tina's turn to tell us everything. How much time do we have? Because she touches every little bit of the hospital in and out.
There's a little bit of everything that goes along with my role at the hospital, and that's because I like the variety. Mm-hmm. So although marketing and communications is my strongest background for the longest amount of time, There's strategic planning that's involved, business planning, bringing some new service lines to the community. One of my favorite projects was the Wound Healing Center, and I was able to work with Healogics, which was National Healing at the time, to bring that service to the community. Everything from working with our facilities department to how the rooms were going to be designed, to purchasing the equipment, hiring the staff, those types of things.
And they've won several awards.
They have. They receive clinical excellence awards all the time, which I obviously have nothing to do with because I don't touch patients, which is much better.
But you helped bring it aboard.
But bringing it aboard was a great service to the community, and I appreciate the fact that I had the opportunity to do that.
Sure.
Well, we just had a story about one of their patients in our Pulse magazine.
Yes.
That life-changing. It saved her life.
Yeah, literally credits the Wound Center with.
Yeah, she said she would not be here today if it had not been for them. She would not be walking if it had not been for them.
Yeah.
And that story just happens to be online on our website at acmchealth.org.
We told you to go to the website.
So a little bit of other things that I do, every 3 years we have a community health needs assessment that we do and an implementation strategy that kind of falls underneath me. Our occupational health department, I get to work with June Parmarter and her team on our wellness department. There's some operational responsibilities that go along with being a member of the executive team.
A lot of operational responsibilities.
Right. So which is why I'm usually sitting in the office and, that's okay. They get to have more
come
fun.
out and play.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you'd rather hear from them and see them anyway, which that's perfectly understandable. Really, I will do whatever the organization needs me to do. I think over the 18 and a half years, I think I've expanded my skill set a little bit that allows me to jump in where I might need to be. And it's just about making sure the community has great health care and knows where to go when they need us.
Sure. I think you're involved in a little bit of everything around the community, and it just says volumes for believing in the community, believing in the people that live here, and wanting to give back in one way or another. And I think we're very blessed that we're able to do that at our job, and Dinner with a Doc, and helping the RAM Clinic come in, and just everything. When you call in, I have to tell everybody this because they love it. I go out and I talk to the kids at school, and I'll tell them, when you call in and you're put on hold to be switched over to your physician's office, this is who you hear. This is the voice. This is the face behind that voice that you hear when you're online. People are like, "That's John. I never knew that." So
I had a guy stop me in a store and go, "I know your voice." And I said, "Well, let's run down."
Right, it could have been this,
and
it could have been that.
I started with the on-hold messages. He goes, "That's it. I call the hospital a lot, and you're the guy I listen to." And then he said, "Over and over and over and over again." And I said, "Well, we are busy. Sometimes it takes a few minutes to
we
get
are
to the right
taking
person.
care of this community's needs.
Yes,
in
every way possible.
And every way possible. We see your children, your grandchildren, your grandmother, your grandfather, mom and dad. We see a little bit of everybody. And thank you for allowing us to take care of you in that way. We're going to encourage you to come back, watch us next month on the Wellness Kitchen, and come in and see us. If you need anything from any of us, you could give us a call at ACMC and reach out to us, and we can help you in any way we possibly can. On that note, is there anything else? Are we all?
This smells so good.
We're ready to eat. That's what we're ready to do.
It's time for them to dig in.
It is.
I noticed that we didn't get a plate for John, though.
This is John's.
Oh, okay.
What? No.
Okay.
John,
I get to be the
That's
one
right.
to sample first.
That is absolutely
Because I'm never on this side to sample the food first.
That's right.
I actually wanted to reach over and grab that piece of fish while you were talking. That
And
little
eat
big
it,
piece right
yeah,
there. So.
sure.
And, while they're taste testing, I'm just going to brag a little bit about the two of them. It truly is a pleasure for me every day to come to work because of this team that I get to work with. And they like to often introduce me as their boss. And technically, if you're looking at an org chart, that is true. But we're a team, and I can't do what I do without the two of them. So just publicly, I want to thank you for being part of our team and for what you bring to ACMC and to the community. It means a lot to a lot of people, and never forget that.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm very blessed to be here, to be part of this team, and I tell them they're my family all the time. I tell people when we're out in the community, I'll say my work family, because they truly are. You truly are my family.
Well, and we spend often more time, we hear all this all the time. We often spend more time with the people at work than we do with our own families because we have long days. And especially when you're in a role like any of us are, there are evening events, there are weekend events that eat away from that family time. So it's great that we're a team that enjoys being around each other. They usually, when the three of us are walking to the cafeteria together, people can tell that we're coming down the hall because there's always some laughter or jovial noise that comes along with us. Unfortunately, we're not in any patient care areas when we're making that much noise.
Yeah.
They
keep us in the basement, so.
They do. But we do see a lot of the people who come down to the cafeteria and they join in with us. They want to know what are you laughing about? What are you doing? And, you know, I've even had one gentleman say, can my wife and I follow you back to your office? I said, come on, I'll make you a cup of coffee.
We have a lot of fun.
We'll talk healthcare. So I guess from our family to yours, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching us. Go to our Facebook. You can look us up and see when our next dinner with ACMC is. You can see the next Wellness Kitchen. We'll give you all that information. And all of these recipes will be listed underneath this presentation down below. So thanks, guys, for cooking with me. I had a great time.
Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, and I'm ready to eat.
I'm ready to get
How
my
was
best
it?
out of the camera.
I know. How was it?
That was so good that the mustard has a crust to it.
It does.
It created a little crust on it, so it's a little bit of a crunch. So yeah.
Good.
I would say it
keeping
smells delicious.
Yeah.
Absolutely does.
That Coke mustard smells great. Yeah.
Not the salmon so much, Regina, but
Yeah.
we'll eat her share. It will not go to waste. I promise you.
I'm adding the. I always say after one of our wellness kitchens, I'm adding that to the menu. Well, this is one that will be added to the menu, definitely.
Good, and it's simple. It's really inexpensive and it's simple. Honestly, I bought a bag of salmon for $10, frozen salmon, and a little thing of mustard, and it gave me 6 fillets. And yeah, so really, it's an inexpensive thing. So eat healthy. Quinoa, salmon, fruit salads. It looks great. Join us for our next Wellness Kitchen, our ACMC Wellness Kitchen, and look for us with our dinners that are coming up next month in March. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.